It's been a while since I've told a story, so I thought I'd tell one about when I was in the Air Force in 1966 to 1970. This is the group of guys that I went through basic with. And here I am in this group. Of course, this was Lackland Air Force Base. And my next stop was Tech School, which was in Chanute Air Force Base outside of Urbana-Champaign, Illinois. Excellent training here. It was very, very good. And then my next stop was here, the Philippines. Now right away they had put me in the instrument shop itself, not working on the aircraft but repairing the instruments and calibrating the instruments and making wiring harnesses for the aircraft. In other words, supporting the guys that were going out on the aircraft doing some troubleshooting. And that was okay, but I wanted to also work on the aircraft, and things were going really well in the shop. I was, doing a pretty good job. They wouldn't even let me tag along and go out on an aircraft. They basically made me stay in the shop. I wasn't really that upset, but I still really wanted to work on aircraft. Well, some of the things that I did in the shop was also to instruct these two guys from the Philippine Air Force. And what we're doing here is I was showing them how to calibrate torque wrenches. And here is the granddaddy of the torque wrench. Here's a little bit closer look at that, and you can see how that thing is bent. It hasn't cracked yet. I asked the guy who brought that in, what do they use this for? And he told me, well, this is the one that they use to tighten the top bolt on the helicopters. Now, I worked on many instruments and calibrated all kinds, from tachometers, numerous instruments, fuel gauges, all kinds of stuff. But of course there's a number of instruments that we could not work on in this particular shop because we did not have the facilities. And there is a NRTS code, NRTS, that is used, and NRTS stands for Not Repairable This Station. And the NRTS code that I was supposed to use all the time when we had an instrument that was sealed and needed to be shipped out for repair at another station, the NRTS code was NRTS 2. Well, several months passed by, and I was getting maybe a little bit more frustrated because after all these months, I still had not even touched an aircraft yet. And also, probably more importantly, I was getting really bored. And things just seem to happen when I get really bored. And I found myself working on a Saturday, which meant there wasn't a whole lot of people around. And there was a big push to get a bunch of stuff done. So I was filling out the paperwork on a bunch of instruments that we could not repair. And Of course, I was supposed to use NRTS 2, but I decided, being rather young and knowing more than anybody else, is that I should probably look for something that's a little bit more accurate. So whatever NRTS code I used, I don't really remember which one it was, but it meant I wasn't smart enough to work on it. And so I filled out the paperwork and marked all the instruments, whatever the NRTS code is. Let's call it a NRTS 3 instead of a 2. And I went on about my business and did some other things in the shop and got to thinking about it, and I go, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I went back to where all the instruments were and changed the NRTS 3 to a NRTS 2, but the other paperwork had already been picked up. So I go, well, they're going to go out NRTS 2, so I didn't think anything more about it. Well, the following Monday, the Master Sergeant was not pleased with me because he said that the captain was wanting to know why we weren't smart enough to work on these instruments. So I explained to him that those instruments really didn't go out that way. They did go out as NRTS 2, but I could not, the paperwork had already been picked up, so I couldn't change it. Well, he still was not pleased and says that I'm going to have to, take some kind of punishment of some kind, and he would get back to me, in a day or so, which he did. And he comes up to me and says, your punishment is we're taking you out of the instrument shop and you're now working the flight line. Thanks for watching.